Hey, Egg Teacher Thoughts here, coming at you with a video that, as a Firefly Petunia parent, you are going to hate to see because it is an inevitability. Sometime during the life of your Firefly Petunia, even if you grow it indoors, you may encounter aphids. Aphids are a small sucking insect that literally sucks the lifeblood out of your plant and can actually cause it to die. So we do need to do something about that. Now, this is one of my indoor growing plants, and you may be wondering, well, if it's indoors, how did it get aphids? Well, a small, simple act of kindness to one of my other plants. One of my outdoor plants most likely brought the infestation in. We had a night where it was going to be freezing, so I brought an outdoor plant in, and apparently it had live aphids on it. And now all of my indoor Firefly petunias have them too. Now, aphids are a sucking insect. You can see the white bits here. Those are actually skeletons of aphids that have passed. And then in here, we have some live green aphids. They are most likely at this point, they're all females. And they are giving birth at a rapid rate where one aphid can turn into 10 aphids, then to 100, then to 1,000. And before you know it, your Firefly Petunia will struggle. They're literally like the mosquito of the plant world. And if you've ever been out in the woods and been attacked by mosquitoes to the point where it just really ruins your night, aphids do the same thing to a plant. It's going to put that plant under stress, and it can, yes, actually make the plant fail and pass away. So we want to make sure that we're doing an intervention to take care of the aphids that are on here. Now, I'm not going to recommend a specific chemical. In fact, I use a whole range of chemicals for my treatment of aphids. There are some non-chemical interventions, but just be aware they may not be as effective as chemical interventions. So as a former nurseryman, I do rely on chemical application that I do in a safe, label correct manner to remove aphids from my growing area. Now, one of the things we will need to talk about is this is only one of a couple of pests that we might encounter with our Firefly petunias. So I have a couple of different application chemicals here that we're going to be applying, and they may not be available in your area. It just depends on your local jurisdiction and what they allow for chemical applications on plants. Later on, we will talk about this, which is one of the few biologicals that we'll get to use. This is for your budworms, and we'll talk about that later in the summer. But we're going to do a selection of chemicals in our regimen. So we're going to select 3, 4, even 5 chemicals to use for our application against aphids. And that's a very important point, that we actually select insecticides with different active ingredients. So active ingredients that may act in a different manner than the previous one, and we're going to put those in a rotation. So this one has an active chemical of pyrethrin, and this one has zeta-zypermethrin. So the reason I'm selecting different types of chemicals is the aphids themselves are going to build up, let's call it a memory, a genetic memory of what chemicals have been used. So those aphids that survive the spraying of one type of chemical hopefully won't survive the spraying of another type of chemical. But if you're applying the same insect control method time after time after time, eventually those aphids are going to build up a resistance. So we need to mix it up and change it up to another chemical that's going to act in a different method against those insects and remove them from your plant. So in my plants, I've already used this bioadvanced houseplant insect and mite control. That was my last chemical that I applied. So I am actually mixing it up this time, and I'm going to be using 7. Now, I have a lot of Firefly petunias, so I actually got a liquid concentrate, and I'm going to be applying that with an air sprayer. Now, when we're applying insecticides to plants, we have to know that insecticides are going to work against those insects in different methods. Some are a contact insecticide, so they simply absorb through the skin or the sphericals of our insect, get into the body, and then attack them that way. Others are what is called a systemic. So it actually enters into the pores of the plant, and then that chemical flows through the sap of the plant and is delivered right to the sucking mouth parts or chewing mouth parts of the insect. And then there is a third type of insecticide that actually works in 2 methods. So it works as both a contact insecticide and then as a systemic. So it attacks the outside of the insect and the inside of the insect at the same time. Now, one thing to know about insecticides, and that's in modern society, the use of systemics, or the chemicals that go actually into the fluids of the plant, is actually limited in some states, in some geographical regions, due to the fact that those insecticides go into all fluids of the plant, including the nectar. Now, if your plants are outdoors, those systemics can actually cause a severe issue for your local pollinators. So please use discretion when you're applying systemics. Now, these are my indoor plants, so using a systemic is not a problem for me. I have picked a cool day where the interaction of pollinators will be limited. I am going to do this application outdoors where it is safe. So I'm making sure that I have an isolated out area with fresh flowing air. It's not super windy, but also I'm not going to be contaminated with drift. The other thing is I've picked appropriate clothing for this. I'm going to be wearing protective gloves, long sleeves, long pants and shoes, and all of those will either be removed and thrown away like the gloves or laundered by themselves after application so that I'm not dragging those chemicals with me throughout the day. So if this is one of the first times that you've actually applied insecticides, that front label on that bottle is actually a booklet that's going to tell you all about that insecticide, how to apply it, what it's going to affect, what the dosage rate is, what plants you can apply it on, and all of that information is contained in here. So if you ever seen those labels with a little sticky bit, kind of like this is taped on, go ahead and peel that off, and that is your instruction guide. You can see on this bottle of 7, this was actually on the back side. I peeled it off so that I could see all of my dosage instructions. In this, there's also the safety data on the back side, so make sure that you know when, where, and how to apply it, how to store it, and any other instructions there. If you do have questions and you're uncertain about applying insecticides, please reach out to your local extension agency and they can assist you with proper selection and even take classes on application of how to apply insecticides in and around your home. Now I've got my firefly petunias out and actually in a shady location. I do find that I have less foliage damage if I'm doing the chemical application in the shade rather than in the sun. And that has to do with the way some of the chemicals are carried. If it is in a oil base, it does tend to burn the foliage and the blossoms. But if it's a soluble powder or another form, you might find that it doesn't actually damage the plants. But of course, in this case, I don't have much of a choice. With my firefly petunias, I am making sure that I get good coverage on them. I don't really have a better location to apply this. And since I do have an extensive number of firefly petunias, I do need to actually mix up a fair amount of the spray. But with this, the little hand spray bottles, if you have another or a couple of them, should probably be just fine. And then we're going to allow everything to dry and follow the instructions on what's called the re-entry period. So that'll be in this guide here, and it'll tell me when I can actually handle these plants again. It may be anywhere from when dry to 4 to 6 hours, or maybe even 24 hours afterwards. So we'll follow the instructions in the individual chemical that we're applying. And we've got to make sure that we're removing that PPE properly and disposing of it. And then we're going to go ahead and change and wash our clothes afterwards. So yeah, unfortunately, as a plant parent, you're probably going to have to apply some insecticides. However, hopefully this is early enough in the season for you that you can make a plan and get a little bit of a head start, do your research before you actually need to do that chemical application. Again, this is only general advice. This is not any rules or regulations about chemical application. Those are going to vary county by county, state by state, region by region. So make sure that you're well versed in the chemical applications that may be restricted in your region. And always, read the back of that bottle. It's going to tell you everything that you need to wear while you're doing that chemical application. So you can always use some of the safer options out there, but Be aware that the effectiveness of a chemical just kind of depends on what you're using. There's no silver bullet out there. There's no one chemical that's going to absolutely get them every time. Uh, so you're going to have to vary. You're going to have a selection, and you're going to have a plan in place. So this is a part of my plan. It's a part of my chemical application rotation, dealing with aphids, which are pretty much a constant problem for gardeners and especially nurserymen and greenhouse growers. Even if you're growing indoors, you are going to have some pests. So there you go. I hope you're learning something about this. I hope you enjoyed it. And most of all, I hope you go out and get a Firefly Petunia of your own so that you can see them glow at night. That's right. The petunias that I was spraying earlier do glow in the dark. And part of keeping them healthy and brightly glowing is managing those pests that may attack them so that they can have all that energy to devote to that evening glow for you. So anyway, as always, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed Ag Teacher Thoughts.